On page 570, number 73, we're in the blue book. Spell checking software catches non-word errors, which result in a string of letters that is not a word, as when the is typed in TEH, except that this is an old book, and now if you're on Word, it will just correct it for you, right? When undergraduates are asked to write a 250-word essay without spell checking, the number X of non-word errors has the following distributions. So the value of X. So 0, which means there was no non-word, right, is 0.1, 1 was 0.2, 2 was 0.3, 3 was 0.3, and 4 was 0.1. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure it's a legitimate distribution. Do you guys know how to check to see if it's a legitimate distribution? What should you do? Do you guys know? Yes, we're going to add up all the decimals and make sure it equals 1. You guys, because if it doesn't equal 1, then it's not a legitimate probability distribution. So again, you guys remember there's a difference between a probability distribution and a probability distribution histogram. So this is just the probability distribution. So let's check and verify that it indeed equals 1. So you guys, there's a couple ways, you guys. If it's a free response question, they're going to want to see that you know how to add it up. It's not really a question here, but so on your calculator, just give it a quick add up and see if it adds up to 1. Did it add up to 1? Good. Okay, so now here's the next thing. Well, not the next thing, the first thing, right, in the question. It says, write the event at least one non-word error in terms of X. What is the probability of this event? So what does at least mean? There's two ways you can actually write it. So we'll talk about that, but what would you guys do? So they want it in terms of X. Amy?
So would it be like X is greater than or equal to 1?
You can do that. So this is 7.3. It would be the probability of X is greater than or equal to 1. Anybody else know a different way that you could write it? Because that definitely gives us, right? Because at least means greater than. What's another way that we could write it? Anybody know? Right? Isn't that greater than? Because does it include 0? No. This way right here is the majority of the time, right? But there are people that like to write greater than 0. They don't like the equals too, so they'll use that one. And then it says, what is the probability of this event? So how would we do that? So what is the probability of getting at least one non-word error? So what would we do? Okay, well, I guess I'm doing the talking today. And what do you get? Thank you. What's another way you could have done it? Because you didn't have to, I just add up all of them. What's another way you could have done it?
1 minus 0.1.
Yeah. Either way, those are going to give you the perfect, those are going to give you, if it's a free response question, it'll give you an E. So that's 7.3, right? Pretty nice. You're like, we already did this. Yes, that's, okay, now, B says, describe the event X is less than or equal to 2 in words. What is the probability? What is the probability that X is less than 2? So now what we want to do is we want to describe what this means. What does that mean? Now we want to describe, so this was A, and now this is part B. So what would that be? Yeah, we could say there's two or fewer non-word errors in the paper, or there's no more than 2 errors in the non-word errors in the paper. So in words, right? Because the last one, it says at least one non-word error. So this one would be no more, or you could say fewer, no more than 2 non-word errors. Okay? And now, yes, they want us to find the probability, and to find the probability, what would you do? So the probability of this would be 0.3 plus 0.2 plus 0.1, which is, what did you say, Lucas? 0.6. And now this